6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. 3 more Omicron-infected persons found from the country. 17 new diplomats appointed. The Electricity Board says electricity charges will not be increased. Joint Business Forum facilitates Sri Lanka's Sustainable Organic Agriculture Initiative. More wild elephants arrive near Buttala Katragama Road. Foreign news. Israel could become the first country to roll out a 4th dose of COVID vaccine. Sports, 11 new records established at the National Youth Games in Colombo. News in detail. Consultant virologist of the Medical Research Institute, Dr. Jude Jayamaha says 3 new cases of Omicron variant have been detected in Sri Lanka. This was disclosed at a media briefing held at the Health Promotion Bureau today. He said 2 of them had returned from Sudan. The other had returned from Tanzania. This brings the number of Omicron cases to 7. 17 newly accredited envoys to Sri Lanka, including 11 new appointed ambassadors and 6 high commissioners, presented their credentials to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the President's house yesterday. The new ambassadors are appointed from Egypt, Indonesia, Jordan, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Hungary, Mauritania, Tunisia, Argentina, the Dominican Republic, Spain and Slovenia. The new High Commissioners represent Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Botswana, Malta, Republic of Guyana and Nigeria. The General Manager of the Electricity Board, R.M. Ranatunga, says there is no need to increase electricity charges, although fuel prices were increased. He said there is no necessity to increase the charges for a unit of electricity since burnt oil is used instead of diesel to generate electricity. A virtual business forum was recently held on the theme of sourcing agricultural inputs from Germany to strengthen Sri Lanka's path towards sustainable and organic agriculture. The Embassy of Sri Lanka in Germany, together with Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, German Agri-Business Alliance and Sri Lanka-Germany Business Council, organized the forum, providing a valuable opportunity to gain deeper insights into the government's vision and efforts set forth to achieve sustainable organic agriculture. Wildlife officials say the number of elephants coming in search of food near Buttala Katragama Road has increased. They said elephants can be seen on either side of the road through Yala National Wildlife Park these days, and they have requested the public to refrain from feeding those wild elephants. They further said wild elephants attacked several vehicles during the past few days. President's Media Division said 2 new ministry secretaries have been appointed by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Mr. DMLD Bandaranaike has been appointed as the Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture. Sri Lanka Administrative Service Officer Anusha Palpita has been appointed as the Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media with effect from January 1, 2022. Ministry of Health says 311 more COVID-19 patients were discharged from medical care today. This brings the number of recoveries in the country to 558,226. Sri Lanka has recorded 580,922 COVID patients so far, and more than 7,900 patients are currently receiving treatment. Meanwhile, the death toll from the coronavirus outbreak stands at 14,795. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka Prosperity Index marginally increased to 0.786 in 2020 compared to 0.783 recorded in 2019. The well-being of the people sub-index improved amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, while decreases were observed in economy and business, climate and socio-economic infrastructure sub-indices. During the year, the central bank said improvements to healthcare facilities and more opportunities created for higher education indicated by an increase in the quota of students enrolled for the state universities have contributed to the increase in well-being of the people sub-index. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Sri Lanka Air Force said a light training aircraft of a private company has made an emergency landing on the beach in North Payagala. The aircraft had made the emergency landing due to a technical fault. 2 individuals had been aboard at the time of the incident and no casualties were reported. A strike launched by the Government Medical Officers Association took place for the 3rd day today. The association has said they are prepared to call off the strike if their demands are met. Our reporters said people who came to seek medical treatment were severely inconvenienced due to the strike. Meanwhile, a senior member of the association, Dr. Priyantha Athapattu, said it is illegal to conduct strike of this nature without a legal basis. He further said the GMO itself has introduced the relevant vacancies of concern. The director of the Lady Ridgeway Hospital for Children in Colombo, Dr. G. Vijaysurya, says no COVID patient has died at the hospital during the last 3 months. He said numerous health protective measures are in place at the hospital. He further said visitors to the hospital have been limited and the staff are following all health protective methods. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Public Security Minister Sarath Weerasekara has instructed IGP Chandana Wickramaratne to take steps to strengthen the security in and around Colombo during the festive season. The Public Security Ministry said that steps have been taken to implement a special traffic plan in the areas where the public are gathering. The minister has also instructed to deploy more police officers in cities in addition to mobile tours and patrols. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, Power and Energy Ministry Media spokesperson Sulakshana Jayawardena said power cuts could be experienced in several areas of the country today as the electricity generation capacity of the Norachole power plant is incomplete. He said measures are underway to add its full electricity capacity of 900 megawatt to the national grid. And that was Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
Christmas and New Year sales with CIB Janujaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable prizes and vouchers for CIB beers during the entire month of December. 20% discount will be given for bank cards and for gift vouchers. Visit CIB today as well.
World News headlines. Israel could become the first country to roll out a 4th dose of COVID vaccine. Australian trial tests blood thinner as COVID nasal spray. At least 1 person has died and 70 are missing following a landslide at a jade mining site in Myanmar. World News in detail now. Israel says it plans to become the first country to roll out a 4th dose of COVID-19 vaccine as the country prepares for a wave of infections driven by the new Omicron variant. Israel's pandemic experts have recommended a 4th booster for the over 60s and health workers. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett welcomed the plan and told officials to start preparing. It comes as Israel confirmed the first known death of a patient with the Omicron strain yesterday. Australian researchers are conducting a trial to see whether squirting a blood thinner into the nose could offer protection against COVID. The nasal spray uses the cheap drug heparin in an attempt to neutralize COVID's spike protein. The researchers say when sprayed into the nose of a COVID-infected person, it appears to make them non-infectious. The trial will not conclude until mid-2022. If effective, it could be used with vaccines and other measures. At least one person has died and 70 are missing after a landslide occurred at a jade mining site in northern Myanmar. Rescue operations are underway with most of the victims believed to be illegal jade miners. The landslide occurred in the Hakant area of Kachin State this morning. Myanmar is the world's biggest source of jade, but its mines have seen numerous accidents over the years. And to conclude this World News broadcast, back to the headlines. Israel could become the first country to roll out a fourth dose of COVID vaccine. Australian trial tests blood thinner as COVID nasal spray. At least one person has died and 70 are missing following a landslide at a jade mining site in Myanmar. And that ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
Christmas and New Year sales with CIB Janujaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable prizes and vouchers for CIB beers during the entire month of December. 20% discount will be given for bank cards and for gift vouchers. Visit CIB today as well.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
A program is underway to beautify and expedite reconstruction work of the main bus stand in Kalmune town. The program is being carried out under the Prime Minister's plan to develop 100 towns into thriving cities. The Ministry of Urban Development has allocated 18.7 million rupees for the purpose. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
National Youth Games. 11 new games records have been established at the National Youth Games held at Sugatadasa Stadium in Colombo. Gampa district team set up a new games record in 4x400 meters relay with a timing of 50.56 seconds. Shanika Lakshani of the Gampa district established games records in both 800 and 1,500 meters. The closing ceremony was held this evening under the patronage of Ministers Namal Rajapaksa and Sarath Weerasekara. Cricket news. Australian Marnus Labuschagne has replaced Joe Root at the top of the International Cricket Council's men's test batting rankings. England captain Joe Root had held the number one spot since August this year. Root now slips to second in the standings with Labuschagne's teammate Steve Smith, New Zealander Kane Williamson and India's Rohit Sharma making up the rest of the top five. Melbourne Cricket Council ground hosts the third test match between Australia and England, which starts on the 26th of December. And that is sports news.
For all foreign currencies remitted through NSB based on the US dollar value, 10 rupees more per dollar, plus more gifts until 31st December 2021. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Ministry of Environment has awarded greenhouse gas verification certificates to Cargills for producing quality milk at Boghavat Kotmale Dairy. Dr. Anil Jasingha, Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, presided over the event, which was also attended by the Managing Director Cargills Saranga Vijayasundara and Group Manager Dairy Products Nimal Gunaratna. Awarding of the certificates was organised by the Climate Fund of the Ministry of Environment. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee, scooters for the 10 second prize winners, iPhones for the 10 third prize winners, mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Earnings from exports recorded the highest monthly export value in history in October 2021, while marking the 5th consecutive month of above $1 billion of export earnings. Earnings from exports in October 2021 grew by 40.4% over October 2020 to reach $1,200 million. Increases in earnings were observed in agricultural and industrial exports, while a marginal decline was recorded in mineral exports. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department says mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. Misty conditions can be expected in western, Sabragamuwa, central and Nuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the morning. And that was the weather report. And to conclude this news broadcast, back to the headlines. 3 more Omicron-infected persons found from the country. 17 new diplomats appointed. The Electricity Board says electricity charges will not be increased. Joint Business Forum facilitates Sri Lanka's Sustainable Organic Agriculture Initiative. More wild elephants arrive near Buttalakatrakam Road. Foreign news, Israel could become the first country to roll out a 4th dose of COVID vaccine. Sports, 11 new records established at the National Youth Games in Colombo. And with that, we end this news broadcast.